Hello everyone, MFPallytime here. Welcome back to the A through Z playthrough. In today's video, we're taking a look at Raynor. Sorry for the lapse of episodes recently. I haven't been feeling good since like the beginning of November. And I've been trying to keep my stride going. I've been trying to keep moving and keep streaming and keep making content. I think it's just starting to wear me out. So if I need a day to rest, I'm going to take a day to rest. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to start taking care of myself a little bit more. Raynor. He was completely redesigned this year. He was one of the characters that the game launched with, and he was good back in the day. He actually had a trait that would give him cooldown reduction whenever something nearby died. Then that later became a talent, and his trait was changed to give him 1 extra range for his auto attack and 1 extra sight range, which at the time, you know, was pretty okay. But as the game advanced, Raynor became obsolete in just about every way. He didn't have any mobility. His self-sustain, excuse me, bumped my mic. His self-sustain was dependent on his health getting low enough and then proccing Adrenaline Rush to bring his health back up. And when you have characters like Genji, like Hanzo, like Li Ming and Zeratul that are capable of dealing so much burst damage, right? Just completely annihilating you in a second. There was never enough time for your, I guess it wasn't a trait, but it was a passive, your Adrenaline Rush to kick in. So they changed that. You can activate Adrenaline Rush now. Your W ability no longer gives auto attack speed increase to your allies. Instead, it's just you and minions and mercenaries around you, which is weird. It also it also resets your basic attack cooldown. I had no idea. I didn't even know that part. His penetrating round remains mostly unchanged. He has a Banshee that's totally redesigned. This thing respawns every 45 seconds if it dies, so you pretty much have a buddy with you the entire time. And his talents have been completely redesigned from the ground up to go along with his new trait, Give Him Some Pepper, where every 4th basic attack deals 125% more damage to the main target and deals AoE damage there as well. Just a totally different hero, honestly. He is able to heal himself whenever he needs it. He's able to move around a lot with his W, and with the right build, deal massive amounts of damage, especially single target damage. Now, he has been scaled down since the changes went in, but I feel like he's actually in a really good spot now. And if you're looking to learn the game, I don't know if I would recommend Raynor anymore because he's a lot more complicated than he used to be. No, I would recommend, I'll give you a build. I'll give you a build. If you have a friend who's like, I want to play heroes, but I don't know who to play, first of all, make them play Lily. But if they're like, I want to deal damage, make them play Lily some more. But if they like Raynor, I'll give you a build that'll work pretty good. After waiting what felt like 20 minutes, we find ourselves on the Sky Temple. Friendly team, Raynor, Kilthos, Asmodan, Stukov, and Anubrak. The enemy team, the new, just recently reworked Sylvanas, Sergeant Hammer, White Mane, the new Stitches, that was just reworked, and Tychus. At level 1, we are going to go for Ace in the Hole. Deal 15% more damage to stunned or slowed targets. This is kind of useful with our team comp. We have 2 stuns. Wait, no, those are knockups from Anubrak. But we're going to be able to proc this slow ourselves soon, so it doesn't really matter what crowd control our team has. I believe by level 7, we're going to be able to pretty much do whatever we want. I'm going to focus on Sergeant Hammer here. Oh my god, he's still alive. Ah, that was a crazy amount of sustain from Hammer, considering they weren't moving or getting heals to my knowledge. All right, on White Mane, good CC. Took her down, but we were killed. That's okay. We probably should start soaking lanes. I don't believe the XP changes that they were planning for this game are currently implemented. At least I hope they're not. I haven't heard a single good thing about them, even though I haven't played them myself. I'm going to head down to the bottom lane and start soaking some XP. I'll let the friendly team figure out what they want to do. We start out with a 4 kills versus their 1 in the mandatory fight over vision. That means absolutely nothing. So, Sylvanas should actually not be as much of like a split-pushing threat anymore and be more of a team fighter. I'm actually interested to see how that plays out. Well, as far as her walking in and trading with me, it looks like I'm winning that one. You can see Jim Raynor's glowing right now. That means his next auto attack is going to proc his trait to give him the pepper. So I want to make sure my next auto attack's on a hero, if at all possible. So right here. I'm going to go ahead and use my self-heal as well. And look at that damage! Jim Raynor in the past was a very, very passive hero. You didn't have to do too much to make him work. You kind of just played Jim Raynor, right? He kind of played for you. Now it's a little bit more interactive. You got to think about things a little bit more, but that doesn't mean we can't make his talent build easy along the way. Adrenaline Rush now grants armor and its cooldown is reduced by 10 seconds. Is a really, really strong talent. Give him some pepper. Heals rated for 3% of his maximum health. Not as much. So we're going to go for the armor. This is going to give us 25 armor for 3 seconds whenever we use our heal. When we're using our heal, it's likely when we're trading anyway. It's likely when we're already going to be in a fight. So being able to give ourselves even more survivability is obviously going to be really good. I'm not sure what Stitches is doing, but no one on the friendly team decided to attack him there at all. And he's just going to be able to walk away. So we're just going to come down and start trading with Sylvanas, try to force her back. White main for the enemy team. Looks like she stepped out a little bit too far and was taken down. Sylv, it's just not working out. Just stop, okay? Just stop while you're ahead, all right? Friendly enemy team is pushing in middle here. Let's see if we can help out really fast. Tyka's really overextending here to get our Stukov. That was successful for him. He is going to do that. The objective is up, which means the enemy team is likely going to be looking other places. So I would very much like to finish this camp and get this pushing while they're distracted elsewhere. I should have started this a little bit sooner when I rotated up. That was my original intention, but you saw the team was fighting over stuff. And I wanted to help out there if I could. But we should be able to take this over, no problem. Pretty much anyone can take over camps now. Unfortunately, the enemy team did the same thing, so I'm actually... you know, they'll counter each other out, right? I shouldn't have to go down. One thing we can do in these fights is just prime our auto attack crit to be ready, and then when we engage, we get that free crit. And now I could stack it back up on minions. If we're not looking to fight, boom, crit right when we go in. Which is super useful, obviously. Lets you kind of prepare for engagements a little bit more than Raynor's been able to do in the past. I need to make sure I don't get hooked in here. Our new Brack's been doing great work up in the top lane. He's been soaking that, no problem. The enemy team does finish this one up here. So we're going to pick up Unstable Compound, which is going to make it so Give Him the Pepper now also applies a slow. And if you remember, our level 1 talent gives us 15% more damage to anyone that is slowed. Nice damage there from the friendly team. Looks like Sergeant Hammer's moving down to the bottom lane. Look at that damage, boys. Is that just solid? Is that just attractive? So our level 7 talent, increase the area of damage we give them the pepper by 50% and enemies hit are slowed by 10% per 2.5 seconds. The slow amount does not matter. But the fact that we can slow them reliably just by auto-attacking means we're basically dealing 15% more damage. And that's not just damage with our auto-attacks, it's also damage with our abilities as well. So we can proc the slow, and then immediately shoot with our Q to deal increased damage to Sergeant Hammer there. Okay, let's grab this region clip. And again, we can prime up this slow to be ready for when we engage in stuff if we just auto-attack some minions prior to a team fight. Mine. I did that. I killed that building. That's my baiter. Sergeant Hammer busy again. Likely just heading down to the objective. We're almost level 10. I'd really like to get that before this objective starts. Looks like Sylvanas is pushing the middle lane. Objective's going to be up at 20. So we should be able to do that pretty easy. Oh. No Gorge yet or anything, so he doesn't have too much to worry about. I think I'm going to pick up the Hyperion just to try to counter the Sergeant Hammer. When Hammer gets sieged, I can just send the Hyperion towards her, and she'll either take damage or be forced to move, right? Which are both good things for me. Sukov standing on the point of Nubrak, not coming down. I'm going to go ahead and ping him with an assist, hopefully get his attention. Maybe we'll start moving down. I'm going to get my Give Him the Pepper ready and then go after Stitches. I'm going to go ahead and Hyperion this. We can move in and take down this building while the tower is hitting it as well. So back in the day, back in the alpha, I briefly mentioned it, but Raynor had a trait called Give Him the Pepper. Or excuse me, called Putting on a Clinic, which allowed him to get cooldown reduction whenever something died. So in that situation where we fire off the Hyperion and minions are just kind of hanging out nearby and they're taking damage, we'd actually be benefiting from that in a really big way. That would be really good for us. There's the slow. It's finally procced. Go ahead and give myself some armor. I actually don't know if I win this, especially because I think Sergeant Hammer's rotating down.
This should be good.
Dude, Whitemane's a monster, okay? Never underestimate a fucking Whitemane, man. Good dunk will help him clear it with our Q. There was a time where Jim Raynor's best build was just his Q. You literally dealt damage by pushing people out of the way for follow-up damage. You knocked them back with penetrating round. And it was the worst. It was awful. That was probably the worst time to play Jim Raynor. They did buff his auto attacks at some point after that, but it was like, it was so counterintuitive. And you'd be constantly moving people out of skill shots just so you could get a little bit of extra damage. It was so bad. I hated Jim Raynor back then. I actually think he's in a fantastic spot at the moment. Go ahead and pop our armor now that Tychus got brave. I'll Hyperion this too. I think the laser's still gonna kill me. Nope. Beautiful. Hyperion was a bit of overkill there. I just wanted to make sure I didn't die. I'd rather spend a cooldown than be dead, you know what I'm saying? At level 13, I think we're gonna go for Empower and Inspire empowers penetrating round. So what it does is decreases cooldown of penetrating round by 3 seconds while Inspire is active. And again, Inspire is our W ability. Penetrating round also has its slow increased by 20%. So it's going to be a 40% slow on that. Now you can get the old Inspire back, kind of, by picking up Rallying Cry here. Jim Raynor had a really niche role before. You would pick him up so you could kill the Immortals on Battlefield of Eternity significantly faster. And he would basically give attack speed to everyone on his team. So you get a Jimmy, you get a Greymane, and you could pretty much melt an Immortal what felt like instantaneously. It was really, really quick. Kind of the same reason you would pick up a ETC. When they removed that from ETC, they started looking at Jim Raynor, and unfortunately he lost his as well. At least I think that's accurate. If that's not accurate, I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm not feeling good. I'm not feeling... That seems accurate, okay? That sounds right. Just don't fact check it, and we'll keep going on like that's how it was, okay? Ooh, Stitches is here. He did go with the Bile. Go ahead, fire this off this way. I am not going to be able to kill Stitches while Whitemane is healing him, but Whitemane's not taking care of herself. Okay, here's my armor. Tychus is moving up. I'm actually going to focus the laser here, I think. Moving down to Sylvanas. Back on laser. Okay, we just need to be careful. Not bad. Oh, you fucked up! It's actually really good. I feel like I played that really well, actually. I waited for my cooldowns. That all went great. At level 16, we picked up Paint Them Red. And what that does is penetrating round heals and deals more damage. So increase the damage of penetrating round by 50% and heal for 90% of the damage that it deals. Remember, When we have a slow on a target, we're also going to be healing for more in that situation too. Baby girl, you got to stop trading with me. So we get the 15% slow on a target if we proc give him the pepper. Then we can hit our W and then hit our Q and heal for a shit ton of damage. Heal for a shit ton of health. Which is pretty good. We should most definitely do this. I'm on board with this 1000%. Well, not anymore. Backing up. I can give myself some movement speed here. Oh, the dunk! Oh, what a good knockback. That was actually a great knockback. Well played, Tychus. So we have middle and bottom lane open to the core. Stitches is way out of position, but we shouldn't waste time chasing him around. Go ahead and give this guy the pepper. Give him the dunk. Give him the Q. Make him miss the dunk. Yeah, normal Jimmy stuff here. Switching over to white main, we're going to go ahead and fire the Hyperion out on her. Give myself some armor because I'm not feeling confident anymore, not with Sergeant Hammer also hitting me. But we actually sustained in that just fine. Mind control coming out. The skill shot landed. I'm trying to back up. Great shove, keeping me safe. Kind of low on mana at this point. Let's go ahead and kill off this laser. Oh my god, I just realized that this Stukov's name is Brandon. Do you think he's the same Brandon from the Morales video of Legend? Do you think he is? If he is, it's gonna make my fucking day. The Legend of Brandon continues! There we go. GG, boys. So Jimmy's really strong. We did top hero damage by a mile without really doing anything too crazy. We just kind of turn on our W and we start fighting people. Proc or give him the pepper, hit him with the Q. We have a heal with that. We have a heal with our E ability. We have armor with our E ability. We have the zoning potential of the Hyperion. Just a super solid, reliable kit for Gem Raynor. There's not too many situations where he's a bad pick. He's, you know, there are characters that stack up a little bit better, like Zu'Jin, if you need an auto attacker that can also just beat the shit out of someone and get stronger throughout the course of the game. Zu'Jin's a little bit better at that. But you can also do stacking quests with Jimmy, where every time the primary target of Give Him the Pepper is a hero, permanently increase its damage bonus by 0.75%. And he also has some health gains here as well with Behemoth Armor. These might be better versus teams that have multiple frontline heroes, but that team didn't have any. Up next, we're going to be taking a look at Rhaegar. Previously one of my favorite characters when he can Ancestral himself, but I don't really play him too much these days anymore. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.